Welcome back to the Scale Smart podcast. I'm your host, Jacob, and also the founder of Next Scale Growth. Today, I have the pleasure of being joined by the co-founder of Peliqan IO, Piet-Michiel Rappelet. Pete, thank you for joining me.
Hello, nice to meet you.
So, Pete, let's start the podcast off before we get into the questions. Tell the audience a little bit more about yourself, your experience, and what you guys do at Peliqan.
Yes, sure. I'm Piet-Michiel. We are based in Europe, in Belgium. And Peliqan is an all-in-one data and integration platform that combines a very broad stack into a more friendly data platform.
And what led to you becoming the co-founder of Peliqan? Tell me a little bit more about your experience.
Mm, Around seven years ago, started in the Ghent, the Belgium ecosystem, as in the startup sphere. So I joined a data company, a big data company who was scraping the data for retailers and selling it back. So that was actually the first time I really get into contact with a lot of data. And then after that, I co-founded with my current co-founder, Blender.io, which was an iPaaS, an embedded iPaaS for software systems, and that got acquired by Qlik, a well-known data and BI platform. And there we had a lot of discussions about what is now data, what is an iPaaS, why do you need data for, what is BI, and a big conclusion for us was that it's still very hard for a lot of companies, a lot of scaling companies, startup companies, SMBs, even enterprises to really manage data in a proper way, in an easy way. And that's the founding idea of Peliqan.
Amazing. And Peliqan it's rapidly expanded since the founding in 2022. You guys have onboarded over 50 different consultancy partners. What would you say have been some of the key challenges in scaling the business and maintaining that service quality during the growth?
Yeah, of course, you have your technical challenges, especially as a data platform. You work with a lot of data. So technically, you need to be able to cope with that in a cost efficient way. And then in terms of overall scaling, I think, customer is king still. I think we do it all to help companies to make them better. So you need always to find that right balance between customer intimacy and product. You want to grow your product, but you also want to deliver services. And I think our biggest challenge is not to become a consulting company, but to focus on product growth, improving your products. So that finding that balance is a challenge, and that's also why we partner a lot with consulting firms, with implantating companies to close that gap there.
Well, I think that's a big thing as well, which companies kind of neglect. They try to do far too many things at one time, and then their service offering, the quality drops a lot. The quality of the product drops because they try and do way too many things, and it's something I see a lot with companies, and I kind of fell down that route with myself as well. Is that you almost feel like you want to do absolutely everything possible to make the company grow, but then you almost realize, in fact, I'm the one who's stopping the company from growing, doing all these different things. So how did you navigate that kind of thought process?
Well, I think the product roadmap and the product discussion, what should we add as a feature, that's a console. We don't have a clear, let's say, meeting point on that. We have some points that with Nico and our key people, that's a console discussion. Yeah, it's not the first time we did this, so we know a bit on the decision making, and we feel what is important and what's not. What helps us a lot is in our product, we have a Python component. So a lot of features can be solved by providing a custom app within our platform. And a customer accepts that, right? That not everything is a built feature, but that it's sometimes an implementation that we add. And it's better to have a solution than let's say, a native feature. So we navigate through that.
And I think the data integration and the analytics market is becoming quite competitive with some big players coming in the game. So how do you guys at Peliqan differentiate yourself, especially with its all-in-one platform?
Yeah, that's $1 million question. How do you differentiate with the big players like a Microsoft? Yeah, I think it's a bit that customer intimacy, the fact that you make it easier to log in, to start. We take away a bit the hurdle of the infrastructure for a data platform. That's one. A customer does not have to combine 5 tools with each other. It's fairly easy to start. And next to that, local connectivity. I always say you don't need a data platform if you don't have data. You don't have access to your data. So we provide a fully managed connectivity service. So if you come in and you have a local ERP system or an HR system that you don't yet have as a connector, we make it happen. We ensure that you get that data into the data warehouse that we manage to start building your data pipelines and your BI deliverables. So, and I think that's a big differentiator.
And moving on to the topic of AI now, because I know that's something which you guys are quite big on. You guys obviously integrate AI within your platform, offering the AI assisted SQL. How do you see AI kind of transforming the industry, not just the industry you're in, but just like the whole world? Because I think there's so much things now which AI can do, which is going to take a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, I'm happy I'm not a VC at the moment because it's I think a very challenging period to understand which companies will become redundant and which not. And we have, let's say, on a weekly basis, this kind of thought in our head: will we be relevant in a year, in 5 years? But I think the strategy or how you as a company can approach it is indeed which value can we bring on top of AI. AI will evolve so fast, and everybody reads or listens to podcasts about AI, so I will not say the typical stuff there. It will evolve so fast, so the question is how can we hook into that? How can we leverage AI? For us, that's Peliqan will become your virtual data engineer. It will help you build your data models to use downstream for BI, for AI, for your own LLM, for automations. But the challenge of getting your data ready to consume, that's still, in my opinion, something that every company will need. And of course, AI will help there and will replace the UI. You will still need a solution for your data management.
And where do you see the future of the industry heading, Pete? Because I think there's so many things changing now, not just on a monthly basis, but a daily and a weekly basis as well.
Yeah, the data industry, yeah. Data is a new gold. They're saying that already for 20 years. It is still true. I think now a lot of companies who were postponing the journey of becoming data driven and are still working in Excel, yeah, it will become harder and harder to do that. The AI wave, and it's not a wave anymore. Yeah, it's really pushing every company to really get their data in order. So will the industry evolve? I think it will only go faster, and there will be more data and more data consumed, which is, I think, good for us.
And Pete, if you could go back, let's say, to when you first started the company, something that you know now that you could tell yourself when you first started the company, what would be?
Use AI even more.
I
I
knew that
would
was
say
coming.
as in your product, but also internally. We are now using AI, of course, to build connectors to build the platform. But yeah, use it more. But maybe another thing is also marketing. I think we did with the atypical thing to first build a great product and then start marketing it. You have a lot of startups who do it the other way around, which I think is smart or partially smart if you can then deliver. But with AI, I think building a product for a lot of SaaS companies becomes faster and easier. So you need to do your marketing right, and you need to think about that better. So I think if we would start over again, we should spend a bit more time about our overall marketing. But okay, that's a lesson.
And looking into the future, Pete, what are some of the goals you've got for Pelican in terms of expanding and growing the company?
Yeah, growing fast. That's the goal. Yeah, we are now in 15 countries. I think we need to establish more there. We are also going to deploy our US instance next week, so that's a big milestone. Yeah, and expanding. I think it will be driven by also connectivity in every country and the partners that we find, the partners who will help us grow internationally.
And if people wanted to reach out to you, Pete, and find out some more information about what you guys do, or they want to have a conversation, where's the best place for them to do that?
I would go to our website, peliqan.io, or reach out to me through socials, through LinkedIn, or through the contact that you probably will share after this podcast. Then.
Well, Pete, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great having you on and hearing about your insights and the journey from when you started.
Great, thanks for having me.
The pleasure. Thank you.